Welcome. Week 5 is in the books. We have an exciting update for you guys here with the slew of videos coming out with the state of the franchise. Yes, special guest Grant coming in. We're going to be talking about your franchise and your future. Let's go. All right, and here we have the defending champions in the stunning spot at 1-7. I looked at his team last year, and I still kind of trying to figure out how he won last year. I think he snuck into the playoffs, and his guys had some nice days during the playoff times, and that was it because his team wasn't too good, but I feel like it's gotten worse. Grant?
Wow, that's brutal. He won it with defense last year. He really did. And I think what happened is, if I remember correctly, he just couldn't afford to couldn't keep the whole band together, so to speak,
Okay.
He had to choose between paying some guys and letting some guys go. And I think he let some guys go, and it's been rough, I've gone through that myself a few years back. I won the championship, and the next year, man, I had to, see guys leave. So,
yep.
It is what it is.
So he's 5 games behind. He either needs to go all in or all out, which I think it's all out to next year. Okay. 1,800 points scored. You're very far behind. I don't want to keep down in the here. You're 286 points against. So you're not really going against the high ballers, the guys that are scoring lots of points yet. But he might be out of it already, just being that 1-6 and you're 4 games behind against probably the best team in the league in your division. So, but let's take a look at what we can do here anyways, right? Mac Jones, Trey Lance, Cooper Rush. Okay, injury, and surprise. That's kind of like this quarterback. Is this kind of telling me I'm in it for next year because Cooper Rush is going to produce like big points, and Trey Lance and Mac Jones just can't stay healthy. He might be in the point of I would look at trading for like Aaron Rodgers for the 3rd round pick or something if you could afford it right here. Someone that can get you more points than these guys. They're going to get you some touchdowns, or we've ran across those teams, Grant, that have some extra quarterbacks because you got a bye week problem, and Mac Jones is injured, so and Trey Lance is injured, so I would reach out to one of these guys with quarterbacks. Okay.
I mean, I don't know when Dak is coming back. It's going to probably be soon. So let's say Cooper's got a week, maybe 2 weeks tops. You better hope Mac Jones is back by then.
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
Yeah, I would really secure something now before you're desperate and
like you just said, some of these guys that have 4 quarterbacks that are starters that are over the hill and through the woods to grandma's house, hey, take what you can get from guys and let this guy have a guy to start for the rest of the season, I don't know.
Yep, and his running backs, I mean, just looking at him, Boone, which when I seen Boone run the other night, he looked pretty good, a lot better than Melvin Gordon.
He did, and he got a good break in, no pun intended, in Washington with Walker. With Penny breaking his leg, now he's the man.
Oh, yeah. So. Yep. And you got this Jaylen Warren guy, which I actually like Warren better than I like Najee Harris.
Oh, wow.
Controversy?
Joey's got 5 rookie running backs. That's something there.
Yep. Okay. And then wide receiver. DJ Chark. I think I just traded with Gump, didn't I? because I had Chark and I traded him the first round pick and for Godwin.
Yeah.
So because I had Chark, Dobbs, I like Dobbs a lot. Not necessarily great for this year, but I feel like he's going to be that Jordy Nelson next year.
Well, you know what, Joe? The oldest wide receiver he has on his team is DJ Chark.
Oh yeah, I mean Moody, Elijah Moore, Elijah Mitchell, or McKenzie, Osborne, Peoples. I mean, he's got some pretty good guys. He's got a few guys that he could move roster spots around, but for the most part, he's got some guys that have a pretty good and bright future. Honestly,
I agree.
Two or 3 years from now, these guys could. We're going to be talking about at least two of these guys being maybe all pro.
Like Watson, possibly Osborne, definitely Mooney.
Yeah, I like Dobbs a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Bellinger's looking good. They're throwing him the ball, and he's getting involved. And then you got the tight end. He's just injured, and the rookie guy and Fant. Smith is looking good there, but he's just a backup tight end right now. But I would be starting Bellinger every week if you could. He'll be better more next year. This is a next year team, so.
I agree.
This is definitely.
Great kicker.
You take our money last year, and then you build a next year team. I like it. Okay.
Take the year off.
Yeah, give our money back. Rookie defensive tackle. I mean, he's putting up points. I can't argue with that. Tomlinson and Quentin Williams. Yeah, 100 points, 76 points, good. I would like to see another guy here, though, just to help with this depth. You do have a bye week problem next week, so you're going to have an issue with that. You have a bye week problem with both of your defensive front lines, defensive tackle and ends.
Yeah.
So
wait, hold on. Quiddy Pay has been hurt, so I don't even know if he's a solid start. To be truthful, he got hurt pretty bad the other day.
Yeah, he only had 2 points, so he probably got hurt and then didn't return. But I mean, he had the first big game week 1, and then a few pedestrian games in between. But if you give me 10 to 15 points in every position, I'm happy with you, because then I'm going to get those other guys that score the 20 or the 30 points, and then hopefully you get one or two guys that score 40. That's really when you get the guy that scores a 40-point game at 38. Like Aaron Donald last week was doing Aaron Donald things. 38 points or something. I'm happy with that.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, you definitely need some depth on the defensive side here. And I would probably move this week. I would be panicking, honestly, hitting that waiver wire fast. Lucky there's some pretty good options that unlike running back or wide receiver, you won't find a guy that scores lots of points. Unfortunately, in the defensive side, you could find a guy that could score 10, 15 points on the defensive side easy. They just get more opportunities to score. Okay, linebackers. Gary looking good over there, and then he's got some younger guys. 2 rookies here. One of them's producing. And then Daniel Hunter's who's been kind of a letdown this year.
Yeah, but Troubadour's been hurt, so that's his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, he started a few games, but I mean he's producing, but he's not getting the snaps or the carries. But I'm not going to hold it against it. But a few of these guys you can move out, but man, their money is just too much. $7 million, $4 million. It's hard to move off a guy at $7 million.
Well, the thing is, he's got $45 million in cap space. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, there's a next year team too, so.
Exactly.
Corners, you got Byron Murphy, and then this other guy. The Kansas City corners are scoring points because everybody scores points against them. They're just playing they're just making you beat not deep. Could use some depth here. Newsom and Farley. Just not really making points. They're not making plays. They're not making tackles. And then your safeties. One more can I say? You have two of them. You have to start these guys. Definitely need some depth in this back end and.
Another one.
Yep. This guy's gonna come to realize in about a week he's having a huge defensive issues, and he's gonna have to make a lot of moves, and he's gonna have to move some players. If you move off players, who are you gonna move off of? Probably one or two of these wide receivers, and
Right.
a few of them you could trade. So I would look at trading, like if you could get something for Elijah Moore, Osborne, or even McKenzie. Because McKenzie, he's coming back from concussion, and it's just a matter of time before he's just not the number 3 there, and it's that Khalil Shakir guy. Check out the body of work. He's got $18 million in the salary adjustment. Let's take a look at his trades, his draft picks. So he's got 4 first-round draft picks this year, coming this year. Grant, 4.
How many? 4. Oh, wow.
4. Yep. And he's got his own, so he could have the 101. He's got 2 second-round draft picks, a third and a fourth, and 2 fourths. And then the following year, he's got the 2024, he's got a first, 2 seconds, 2 thirds, fourth, and 2 fifths. So his draft capital is looking very, very powerful this coming year.
And did you think that his 4 picks, one of them's his?
Yeah.
Number 1?
Yep.
That very likely could be, if things keep going this way, the number 1 overall pick.
Yep. But 2 of them are from the replacements in you, which we've already covered. And those are going to be close to the near late round, first round.
It's possible.
But
It is possible.
I feel like the late first round is good to target, either a wide receiver or go with a stud defensive end that was picked up.
Yeah.
So overall, I mean, it's a next year team. But I would look at getting better defensively, and then trying to get a stud or two, a big stud. I like big studs.
Agreed.
But he might have to build these big studs through the draft. Hopefully he hits on these draft picks. Because let's just say he hits on 3 out of the 4, and they're not all studs, but one of them is like a really stud, you could trade that pick for like 2 picks next year, because someone was willing to pay for it because they really like that guy.
Right. You're right. Well, I will tell you, after we had our rookie draft this year, and I drafted Hutchinson and I drafted Quay Walker, I had several offers from several different people for those players.
Yeah.
I didn't trade them, but, and you're right, you could easily do that, turn that 1 pick into several other, because how do you rebuild your team? By the more picks, the merrier. The more picks you have, the more guys you can pick up. It's like the dart throw. The more darts you get to throw at that bullseye, you're more bound to hit them if you have more chances.
Yeah, specifically when you got 4 first rounders and then 2 second rounds, because like Brian Robinson was picked up in the 3rd round in this league.
And
Pierce,
as I said, he's got $45 million in cap space, so he's got the money to pay those 4 first rounders and those 2 second rounders.
Yep.
He's got the money.
So this year, he's not really competing, but he's got good points for being such a young team. And I think, if we had fast forward a year from now, like all of these players could be starters next year.
Exactly.
If they're not starting next, this year, like Osborne could be starting over Thielen. Elijah Moore is already starting and getting, targets. They just need to get better balls thrown. Darnell Mooney, another year in the offense, like in the running back. So, he's just kind of dealing with the cards that he has right now. And I look forward to seeing this in about 2 years and seeing where this team is specifically.
You know what, Joe? I would step out as far as to say in 2 seasons he could be the champion again because of these young guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I feel like these first round draft pick players, they produce a little faster than what they had than previous years. So they could easily come in and start and put up 200-300 points the first season they come out.
I agree.
All right.